people have no tolerance for you to act like you don't know them in the customer experience world.
An underrated tactic is mobile.
Yeah.
Nobody uses it enough. What would my life be without AI? Because it helps me move faster. Like so many different automations.
You can 5X yourself. The ability to say like, okay, where are people shopping? How are they shopping? What are they shopping for? Tie that together through all of the machine learning models to optimize literally in seconds. Like that's the opportunity.
Hey friends, welcome to Above the Fold podcast. I'm your host, Jess Servion. We're going to be talking about everything in your customer's journey. You're going to learn things about customer experience, brand experience, and marketing secrets that help you drive your brand success. So stay tuned, buckle up, and let's get into the episode.
Welcome back to another episode of Above the Fold podcast with me, Jess. This week, I am joined by Keri McGhee, CMO of Attentive. And I'm so excited for Keri to join because we are going to be digging into how leading brands are navigating cross-channel marketing, personalization at scale, and the shifting consumer landscape. But before we get into that, Keri, I really need you to tell the people how much of a baddie you are with your background.
Oh, wow.
Before Attentive.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. And I know you have your big conference tomorrow for She Innovates, and best of luck. I think that's just an amazing initiative and wish that I could participate more, but love that Attentive will be there. So
yes.
Thank you for doing that. So I am such a non-traditional marketer. A lot of people had a focus early on what they wanted to do, and I really fell into marketing. It wasn't something that I set out to do. So I've always been super focused on, I would say, problem solving and figuring out like how do you provide, from my first days working at REI, literally in high school, of like that customer experience. How do you give somebody that memorable customer experience and make sure like they go out and create the memories with the right gear, with the right fit, all those things. Like that's where my heart just kind of sparked. And like, I loved that. I loved giving people those memorable experiences. And it led into like how I built my career. I've been super fortunate. I'm based in Seattle, and it's a really cool tech hub to kind of grow up in since the like mid to late 90s. So started at State Farm, oddly, a very conservative insurance company, but then quickly got to go to Expedia, who was really transforming travel at the time. There was no online airline ticket purchase at the time. And then got to build some great relationships, which in marketing and in customer experience, like it is all about relationships. So I got to follow some really great people over to Zillow and got to do cool stuff in the real estate industry for new construction, home builders, and how do we turn on, home discovery and building that dream home experience, to keeping realtors excited about delivering really good customer experiences for first-time home buyers. And then eventually led me to Attentive and back to like B2B SaaS after doing lots of different turns at Microsoft and other companies.
That's so awesome. Like in this moment, I was just realizing like we actually have a very similar background, but different. Like you kind of ended up in like customer experience and like all these like different varieties of it, like retail, this and that. But also after college, started working at a bank and had a whole career in banking. Okay. And then
did you guys have a dress code?
Yeah. And I was so terrible at it. You guys, like, I don't like wearing any other colors other than black. And like, so I'd always have to wear this black blazer, black pants. It was so conservative. And I also went to art school before that.
Okay.
But then I went to my then I had a career in travel.
Okay.
And then I went to my first startup, which was a travel tech company.
Who was it?
Travel Bank.
Okay, I don't think I've
They were acquired by US Bank.
Okay.
My first win as a startup.
Got it. That's amazing.
I've had some
travel, conservative, insurance, banking, very similar.
Yeah. And then, just a lot of different paths after that. And then ended up in like a totally different career for e-commerce. But I think that's so badass though, because what you were also saying about like starting in REI and like even working in like that conservative world of State Farm, Zillow, like Expedia, all these places. You're so right about falling into marketing, but it's all based in customer experience. And all of those different types of customers have different experiences. And it's all about like, how do you market to them better, right?
Yeah. And I think it's just like, know your customer. I think that's kind of the lesson that I've learned throughout great mentors and great leaders is if the customer is at the core of everything you do, no matter if it's a B2B customer, if it's a consumer for a retail, like if you're just focused on them and you solve for them, you have a really good shot at winning.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Well, I think on that same note about customer behavior, what do you think has changed most about what customers want today?
I think the
Everything.
most interesting thing, everything, right? Like everything is real time at our fingertips. We want what we want and we want it right now. I think that's the headline. I think the biggest shift that we've seen though really is people have no tolerance for you to act like you don't know them in the customer experience world. And it's shocking. Like over 80%, I think was the latest survey number that we have, people won't even open or look at an irrelevant message. Like if you don't act like you know them and that you haven't, they've interacted with you a million times and you're not using the data how you need to like give them a really custom tailored experience, you lose your shot at that customer potentially for forever.
I know. Well, how do you think that you can tailor that experience at scale though? That's like because I think we talk about it a lot. We're like personalization, do this, do that, right? But I don't think every brand or company really understands that.
I think people want to say that they know how to do it. And, 10 years ago, we started with putting your name in a message. Well, if I put, hi, Keri, it's like, oh, they know me. And now the expectations are just so high and there's so much competition, I think, for just that, like attention of a customer, no matter where they are in their purchase or their buying journey. I think to get it right, brands really need to understand that it is 100% about the data. It's about how you activate and use the data. And so many people have data everywhere, but it's just like collecting dust. They don't use it. And so I think there's a couple of things that really go into it is like there's more competition than ever. And so brands are just constantly chasing against the competition to try and secure more customers versus focusing on the customer.
Yeah.
And people aren't using the tools available. Like I think people think the tools haven't changed. People are stuck in these like legacy ESPs and marketing engagement platforms of the past. But like the future is like mobile. And that's how we shop on our phone. Then we change to shop on our computer. Then we grab our iPad. And so you have to really know a customer. Customers demand it. And I think brands really need to invest in understanding like, where's your data? What tools are you using and applying? And like, how do you get to that point where you're getting like the right product to me, the customer, at the right time when I'm like ready to purchase in a brand voice that feels super familiar? Like that is possible right now. And I think brands are just like heads down and not looking up that that's what consumers expect.
Yeah, totally. And I think on the other side of it too is like we think about growing your list and acquiring that customer so much, right? Yeah. But then when you get them, we don't know how to nurture them. And really your point about like data is really important. We're very mobile forward. If you just start there at those 2 points of understanding your consumer in a mobile view, you're ahead of the game.
I agree. Like if you even just have those, if you know where your data's stored, if you know how to actually access it, like if you're going to turn on all of these AI and personalization tools, you have to have the data and you have to understand like, what are you doing? What are you trying to learn? Is it creating the perfect flow or the perfect journey for the customer? Is it the right promotion because of what they shop for? Like there's a million ways to use the data once you have it. Yeah. But that phone number is, I mean, people have 50 emails. The phone number is very unique.
I know. I agree. I totally agree. When I was leading CX at Feastables, we launched the brand with our short code 69420, which is like very much a brand experience, right?
Okay. I love that.
But you know what's so funny about it is that like, okay, so we launched, I remember launching the brand, we like, okay, great, we're going to do text. And you on the footer of our website, on every page, we said, text us, we text back, right? But then nobody actually understood what that meant. Like on the team, they were like, yeah, we're going to do that. And then I like look around the room and I was like, okay, guys, I'm really excited about that because I'm like leading customer experience there. And I was like, so how are we doing that? And they were like, oh, I don't know. And then so like I had to go and figure out like, okay, that's real cute. You got 69420 in this experience, but how do you build that experience, right? And I mean, we did like so many different tactics, but I think even to add to your point even further, let's talk about omnichannel marketing, right? Yeah. So it's like, yes, you can email, you can text message your consumer on mobile phone, right? But then when you go into other channels like Amazon or even, you know, a Walmart or these other places, how do you drive velocity? Like at that point, you have to drive marketing velocities to those stores, right? And I think an underrated tactic is mobile. Yeah. Nobody uses it enough.
Yeah, and I think it goes two-way, right? I mean, yes, mobile is a way to like drive driving signups, driving people for promos. Like mobile's a great way to do that. Driving to store, but also like how do you take that in-store experience and collect the data because you lose it, right? We have this great customer, OLLY Wellness. They're the vitamin. They have like if you see them on store shelves, brightly colored. They have like the happy worms and all these amazing products and really innovative marketing team, very scrappy, very small team. And they have that challenge, right? Where they have this huge store presence in Targets and Walmarts of the world and Walgreens. And then they have this massive online subscription base where they try and drive direct to consumer purchases. And how do you tie those together? And they have been incredibly innovative on one, how they tie it together across SMS and email, like own channels. Because if you orchestrate across those two, you can have massive results. Like just orchestrating, sending the right message to the people who wanted to receive it was like a 5x lift for them. But then they're doing really innovative things to say, great, we have that customer base. How do we know what the customer's buying in store? Like, are they like doubling down on the sleepy melatonins and how do we collect that data? So they're working with like some really great partners to build capture apps. Like if you're in a store and you get a receipt, is there a way that you can like scan in your receipt for your purchase and then that ties back into their data warehouse that they can then use that to like retarget you for other things. Maybe it's new products, maybe it's a discount. But like that omnichannel, how do you tie all that together is really having to get creative because there's not like one cohesive platform that does it all.
No, there's not. Agreed with you. There's not one cohesive platform that does it all, but also the stakes are just higher and higher, right? It's like we talked about this of like how do you stand out? But also if I'm on a shelf and I'm OLLY Wellness, right? There's 1,000,001 different gummy vitamins, sleeping meds, like all of these things, right? But I know I opt for OLLY because of the brand experience, right? Like the brand experience, that's a part of it. I also am like I will tell you that I'm actually in their fold because I am a purchaser of them, right? But it's like, that's the point though. It's like to stand out across like any channel, you have to be able to deliver a brand experience and understand your customer journey.
That's it, right? What do your customers want from you, and like when can you serve up to them the next best thing that they don't even know that they need? And I think brands that are doing the omnichannel are doing that really well.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's switch gears quickly not quickly. We have all the time in the world. But let's switch gears. I want to talk about the 2025 Consumer Trends Report because you mentioned a stat in it already, but I do want to highlight this report because I think it was really interesting. I think you guys highlighted a ton of like great brands in this, but going back to the personalized message, so in the report, 90% of consumers say they want more personalized messaging, which is so insane, right? Like it's exactly what we're talking about. Like it's no longer first name. And I know that we're talking about like, okay, most brands say they're doing this, but is there anything else that you can add to like what that disconnect is besides the points that we've already talked about?
Yeah, I think it's two things. I think most brands, one, they know what the gold star is that they're going after. The standard is high, but they don't know how to do it. And so they either have limitations based on their data is now disparate in a bunch of places. They have lost signal on their customers. There's lots of reasons they can't do it. I think a stat that we went through all of our brands. We have 8,000 brands on Attentive, and we went through all the sends across email and SMS to figure out brands say that they are offering personalization. And we're doing the data and the research, and we're like, but consumers want more. They're not getting what they need. And 97% of all messages sent from our platform before our last big rollout of AI were batch and blast, meaning the same message went to 10 or more people. That is like segment rules-based marketing legacy platform 101. And it's like, okay, you have these capabilities. You can get to a true one-to-one experience. I think brands, even like I'll talk to CMOs at big brands and they're like, but really how? I'm like, literally, if you just get your data in the right place and you're collecting the right data and you get the signups and they're willing to give you all their information, they're giving you this phone number, this magic phone number. You literally can like slide a button on the right platforms to turn on AI at scale where you're like, oh, now I get to send them the abandoned cart for the item that there's only 2 left in their size. That's personalization. And it links to their free shipping coupon that gets it to them in 2 days. They want that experience.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's so funny because when we were saying this, they were talking about how like some CMOs are like, yeah, but how do you really do that? And then they like don't segment. And the thought that came to my head was like, are you guys high? Like, have you not read a report? Have you not like used any of your tactics?
I think the most important part about personalization is, and the tools that are available today, are ours included, is you can actually not send the wrong message to the person. Like that's the irrelevant messages stat to me was like the big aha of it's not just send me the right message. It's I actually won't engage or interact with you if you keep sending me the wrong message. So you've got to get your segmentation right because that one, it's expensive across no matter what channel you're using, but getting that right message with the right product, that's gold.
Yeah, I agree with you. You also mentioned the AI, right? And AI is like such a buzzword today.
Aren't we over it?
I know, right? I feel like AI everything these days.
Everywhere.
But then I'm also like, I was thinking about this the other day, like, what would my life be without AI now, you know? Because it helps me move faster. Like so many different automations.
You can 5x yourself.
I know.
If you I spend a lot of time in it every week, every day. And it really, if you start to focus and target on the right things and you build yourself a better bot or whatever you want to call it, like you can create a thought partner. And it takes away so much of the like time spending for idea generation. You can just get to the right idea faster. Like I love it.
I agree. Yeah. I absolutely agree. But as it relates to customer experience, how do you think that you can utilize AI to create meaningful customer experiences?
I think there's like two myths out there right now. One is people don't think that AI is sophisticated or elegant enough to have a really good human experience. So a lot of brands are shy away from it. Like we have C-levels at companies saying, I have to see every email that's written to make sure it's in the brand voice. And the myth is actually the tools and the machine learning and the models are so sophisticated that when we do head-to-head tests, literally the machine beats the brand voice almost every time, right? So that wasn't the case a year ago even, but now that is the case. So you can provide really elegant conversations, two-way conversations with the customer that you couldn't before. So that I think is a big myth that people just need to you test your way into it. You make sure you get it right. You hone it to be what it's supposed to be. And the other thing is that if you don't have all your data in one place, you can't leverage AI. And that's a total myth because now the connectivity and the way that you can integrate all of your different data warehouses, how you can enrich data that you have, how you can then layer in data that you collect, how you can enrich the data like your platform has, like we have. There's ways to do it and there's ways to step into it. And you just have to figure out how do you start.
Yeah.
Because it is people who are not doing it, brands who are waiting to see at this point have been left behind. Like that is 100% what is happening. And the brands that are really leaning in are literally providing these amazing experiences and they have the signal, they have everything that they need to give like a really amazing experience to like, I have confidence, I'm getting the best value, I'm getting the right product just for me with the brand in the brand voice that I love. That is possible today.
Yeah. The two-way conversations. Yeah. Hey y'all, quick little interruption for a message from our sponsors.
Attentive really is a performance messaging platform. We're not your legacy ESP or engagement platform. We're redefining with mobile first at the core, the entire customer experience through personalization and AI. And we're really excited to be this next generation platform that brands can count on to deliver these amazing bespoke experiences to customers. Check us out on attentive.com or LinkedIn.
Now let's get back to the show. Going back to that Feastables example, that's basically what I had to create. Do you know how many APIs and random bots that I had to hack together to make that? And if we would have had AI then, AI, technically speaking, and this is a hot take or a common misconception, actually. This is a common misconception. People think that AI is new, but AI is actually not new. We've always used a level of AI. I wouldn't say always, but in recent years, we've used a level of AI, right? Chatbots, even though they're press this to get to this, do that, that's AI. That's artificial intelligence, right? But it's the conversational piece that is the new piece, right? Like the thinking on your own rather than telling it to do something. And so that's how I built these SMS pathways, I should say, right? And so if we would have had AI at that point in time of building it, the things that we could have done were so insane. Because we were getting just an SMS and also just in our CX channels, anywhere from 30 to 40,000 conversations a week.
Wow.
AI could have helped us move it even faster.
It's time, right? It's if you're stuck in like, that's basically like rules-based limitations. So even though there's automation behind it, you were limited based on like how many rules and things could you build into the process. And now it's limitless. It can keep going until the customer gets the answer, right?
Yeah.
And that to do that at scale, there's just no reason that brands shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Attentive as a tool, I know you guys have always had like journeys, and you've also had like humans behind the experience of like doing the conversations. Like, I forget what the
Concierge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, was not coming to me. I was like, that feature.
Yeah.
But what do you think? So you've always had like some level of these things, right? But where does Attentive see the biggest opportunity in AI to improve how brands message today even further? Like,
yeah, I mean, one, it's scale. I think it comes down to that, is how do we make sure that we have all the right data? Because that informs the models themselves. They have to be trained on the data, right? And so if you don't have the right data, if you're not collecting the right data, if you don't have it if you have profiles and you don't have all the information for them, if you don't have an email and a phone number so you can orchestrate across the two, like there's just a bunch of things that typically people have that are missing. I think the biggest opportunity is tying together and leveraging the data you have, right? Like a platform like Attentive can sit on top of your data layer, or we can be your data layer and we can enrich that. The ability to say like, okay, where are people shopping? How are they shopping? What are they shopping for? Tie that together through all of the machine learning models to optimize literally in seconds. Like, that's the opportunity. You're not waiting for hours or days. Like, in seconds, you can optimize that experience and give the consumer what they want, from like filling with a promo or an offer, or giving them the right item in the right size, or recommending a product. All of that's happening in real time. So like this real time ability to provide that experience without being stuck on waiting to get your segmentation right, or waiting to get your rules built, or all the things that you need. It's that scale and able to do it really, really effortlessly by leveraging AI, that it's like, it's unlocked all of that for us. And it's leading to like the next big thing, which I think people are starting to talk about more, but RCS, which has been, it's been a part of the Android world for a while, but now Apple is rolling it out as well. And all the carriers are rolling it out in the US. It's been available internationally. Like, that is like AI. The only reason that's possible, these beautiful image-rich carousel video GIFs, is because you can use AI to serve up that content. Like, you wouldn't have been able to do that per message per person, 2 years ago.
Totally. I agree. This is random and not even on my cue cards, but I'm curious. Do you think, so SMS is such like a high cost channel, and that is the biggest, I would say like combativeness that I get to when I talk to brands about launching SMS and email. Do you think that the pricing, with all of the advancements of AI and this channel, all these things, do you think that the pricing would go down? And I know it's individual, it's more carrier. It's not.
It is 100% carrier.
Yeah.
It's also highly regulated, right? You have to have the 2-tap opt-in. Like, there's all those things that the double opt-in. It's all those things make it more expensive, but the carriers really do control the pricing. I think the unlock there is to leverage it to be a smarter channel. You don't never want SMS to be this massive. You don't want to send multiple messages per day. You'll lose your audience. You'll lose like the magic of this is where people are and they respond and they click. But you have to orchestrate across all of your channels. So you're sending like the right messages in the right channels that people want to receive, because it might take one SMS a day or every couple days, and then a couple emails that then serve up like, oh, you're looking at like, luxury bedding and bath goods. Let's talk about this new line we just launched with Oprah. You should be really checking out like these pillows and robes. Cozy Earth is a great customer of ours. Yeah. And then you orchestrate, and then you send like, what do they need that's really, really personalized, that's going to convert them at 7 p.m. when they've just sat down after their kid's soccer game and they're ready to think about purchasing again. Like, oh, that item, they looked like at that time in their size. Orchestrating the two to send less and make it work harder and smarter, and building like the right journeys and campaigns to leverage it. I think that's the unlock. I don't think it's ever going to be like a really affordable option, because carriers have controlled that for so long.
Totally. That was such a good hot take. You like, honestly, the orchestration of your channels and like all speaking to one another, it goes back to like everything we're talking about in like customer journeys and customers experience. And it is really frustrating when people look at like lifecycle marketing as just like, I'm going to send an email today, but not actually, and like, I keep going back to this, but not actually thinking about like the segmenting of it, right? You know, I'm curious, you know, as we're talking about this like omnichannel orchestration, and I know you mentioned Cozy Earth, but are there any other brands that are doing it really right? And like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think a brand that does it really well and leaned in early is UGG, right? They're a Deckers brand and they're one of our companies. And they started with just wanting to grow their subscriber base, right? To get that subscriber list to over 1 million. And so figuring out, okay, how do we then take that subscriber and grow our list and then start delivering these very like orchestrated experiences to where are people most likely to shop or click? And do they want an email or do they want an SMS? And in the email, do they actually want the like, this is the latest trending UGG slipper and it looks like this and we have a 15% off coupon, versus the text might be, there's only 2 of these left in your size and 7 others are looking at it, right? So like tying those things together, like this is the really cool FOMO product that everybody's wanting. Let me tell you a little bit about it. And maybe there's an influencer piece and then the text is tied to it. And so you're getting them with like what they want to know. Like, am I getting the right product? Is it the one I want? Is it the one everybody else has? Oh, can I get it for the best price? Is it available in my size? And can I get it shipped directly to me? Does it integrate with all of the other integrations, right? Like with your shipping integrations and your loyalty partners. That's where the orchestration magic comes in. And I think UGG is doing it right from how they collect that data from like the sign up all the way till when they ship the product and then re-engage for that repeat purchase. They're integrating across all of their data points and all of their partners and to provide that seamless experience. And they've seen insane results, like 46% lift in revenue per message just by orchestrating better across those channels. Every brand wants that.
Excuse my language, fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I fucking love this. I
It's
love
fun.
it. So, you know, in thinking about in that same vein though, right? Like what if I'm not UGG? What if I'm just starting out, right? Like how does like Attentive or even just any of your resources help a brand avoid just like copying and pasting the same info?
I mean, I think a lot of people learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
But there's great resources like you all and agencies, right, that have done this for so many other brands, from entrepreneurs and startups to like mid-market enterprise brands. People have best practices and where to start. And so I always encourage, I have friends that are starting small businesses and like, go get some expert advice, do some referrals, ask who everybody else is using, what do they like about it? How much does it cost? What results can they expect to see? Mm-hmm. And then you test your way in. It might start with just list growth and it might start with some very basic fundamental things, but you start to continue to test and layer in until you start to optimize and achieve your results. And that might be just simply growing your list. It might be driving a certain percentage of revenue. It might be how you decide to do your big drop every quarter. Like maybe it's more about that experience versus the daily promo code.
Yeah.
But everybody's different. So I always just like partner with an expert. Don't try to do this on your own because you could try for a long time and spend a lot of resources and a lot of money and get it wrong.
Yeah, totally. And I think I would add also just journey mapping.
Yeah, 100%. Know your customer. Like that. Let's back up. Know your customer. Who's your target audience? If you're like, I don't know, don't start until you have like, figure out why you're different. Who's your demographic? And then what is their expectation? Because a 19-year-old or a 17-year-old or 21-year-old on TikTok has a very different expectation than somebody in my demographic, right? Who shops very differently. So know that, get that right, and then go figure out how to build it.
Yeah, totally. Segmenting. Weird.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
I want to switch gears again and like just talk about your career, like point of view a little bit, because I mean, I know we started in the beginning about like how you've had this like really dope career, but I'm curious, what's a personal lesson that you've learned about adapting in this industry's like fast-paced world?
Yeah, I've only been in e-com and retail for a few years, right? Yeah. And so coming into it, I was most excited because it's pretty rare you get to really market to marketers and understand like what do they need and what does that look like. So we get to sit in a different space. I think what I've learned or what I take away personally at this point from like what I'm trying to apply moving forward is you have to be incredibly adaptable in this environment, certainly with the macroeconomic stuff that's going on right now, but there is more competition than ever. And it is really easy to get hung up on that. It is really easy even for me to sit in this seat and say like, what is my competition doing? You should always know what your competition is doing. But if you really understand your customer and you understand what they want and what they value and what will tie them to be brand loyal to you and what the experience is that they deem as successful, whether it's value or purchase, if you focus on the customer versus the competition and you can adapt quickly, like those are the things I've learned probably the most and the hardest. Like those are hard lessons, but putting the customer first, even when, competition's like 10x what it was 5 years ago, it's hard to do.
Yeah, I love that answer. What advice would you give to other marketing leaders trying to scale without sounding like every other brand, though?
Without sounding like every other brand.
I know.
I would actually go back to what I just said.
Yeah.
Focus on the customer. I've had great mentors throughout my career who, when we get lost or we kind of get off track, it always comes back to, did we act on behalf of what the customer needed, or did we act on behalf of what we thought they needed or what we wanted to happen? Yeah. And if you always pivot to staying with where the pulse of the customer is, like that's how you focus on solving for the right things with the right products and the right experiences. It's not getting hung up on what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I think it's really hard.
It's
truthfully,
so hard.
Like especially in the e-commerce world. I would actually even say e-commerce or SaaS, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we've worked on both sides of this. And in SaaS, you're always chasing the IPO. You're always chasing the equity of like, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to do these things, right? And then in e-commerce, like everybody and their moms on Twitter talking about, I've gotten this much success and I've done these things. Yeah. And there's so much creative ads that are out there.
The creator economy is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, right. And so I think it is really hard, but I think I agree with you on staying focused on what it is that you're doing. And if you take nothing else from this, know your customer. It's exactly what you said about knowing your customer, understanding what it is that you're selling and what are you slanging.
Yeah, and stay committed to that, right? I mean, pivot and learn, and you can totally change your mind on what it is by staying close to the customer and listening to what they want and how they're perceiving what the demand is for whatever you're selling or serving up. Like that is your true north. And you will succeed at some level if you keep focused on that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, you ready for the fun rapid fire round?
It's a little more of our non-branded drink. Let's do it.
Yeah, hold on one second. Let me...
The blue tape takes all of the branding away.
I know, right? You don't know what that is. Okay, this is rapid fire SMS edition.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Emojis or no emojis?
All the emojis.
Which emoji?
Well, this is going to share my age too much, but I love this emoji. The, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. I love the hands, which is like the hug, but it's more like, oh, I'm here, I'm ready for it. And then the trophy, I overuse it. Like my kids will be, I have teenage boys and they'll be like, hey, I got this class or I did this. I'm like, trophy. And so
You're winning.
Keep going.
I love it. Okay. SMS tone, voicey or clean and classic?
Voicey. It's personal.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Promo or storytelling?
An SMS promo. I mean, you only have people's attention for so long. Use your email to tell really great stories.
Ooh, that is a hot take, my friend.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Flows or campaigns? This is going to be a hot take.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Campaigns are so cool, right? When you got good collabs, like Skims comes out with an amazing collab, you're like, yes, campaign. Yeah. But flows are like, that's where you get to the heart of being able to like get that next product to them when they don't even know they need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Always on or dropped based?
I have teenage sons. Drop based.
Mm-hmm. Real feedback or curated quotes?
Real feedback.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody reads the curated. Nobody reads the top level stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
We know your social proof is not true.
Yeah, I mean, people look at the middle, right? Like people make decisions on like 3.8 to 4.2. Nobody makes a decision on a 5.0.
Yeah, right. So. And if it's too clean, come on.
No, if it's like
we know.
If there's no personality at all in a testimonial or a quote, you're like, okay, then that person isn't real.
Yeah.
So,
that. Yeah. Well, Keri, we're at the end of the road, my friend.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming on. I loved talking high level marketing because I can nerd the fuck out about this stuff a lot. But tell the audience where they can find you.
They can find me on LinkedIn, Keri McGhee. That's pretty much where they can find me. I'm pretty personal with all my other stuff. But LinkedIn.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, we will tag you in the show notes, and I appreciate you coming on. And everybody, please check out Attentive and all their new badass AI features. And we'll catch you next week. Toodles.
Dang, we've made it to the end of the podcast and you're still here. So thank you so much for listening to Above the Fold podcast. For the best of this episode and every episode, be sure to follow us on Instagram and my YouTube channel. And for deeper dives on the secrets to brand success, don't forget to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, Sunday Postcards. All right, my dudes and gals, see you next week.